The BTL Y-Wing starfighter, more commonly referred to as just the Y-Wing, was a versatile starfighter and bomber. It's manufactured by Koensayr Manufacturing. This company seems to have only produced the Y-Wing as far as full ships go, but it was also an engine and hyperdrive manufacturer to be used in other ships. The Y-Wing was created for the Clone Wars. The Galactic Republic asked Koensayr to create a long-range, dual-use starfighter and light bomber. The Y-Wing has a forward cockpit with dual cannons at the front of the ship. This is connected to two large engines by a central spar and crosswing. The engines have four strong pylons extended out behind the cockpit to support long engine pods to increase maneuverability. Repulsor lifts were fitted along the ship for in-atmosphere flight. There was also a fuel recycling system to increase efficiency, allowing for longer range missions. This starfighter was heavily armed. The two front-facing cannons were either KX-5 or IX-4 models that were capable of piercing the hull of even larger-sized battlecruisers. Dual SW-4 or SW-5 ion cannons were mounted on a rotating turret. Two MG-7 proton torpedo launchers that could hold 6 torpedoes each were included as well. In addition to this impressive arsenal, Y-Wings could carry a variety of ordnance for bombing purposes. These ships are slower than many other starfighters of comparable size, but they're much stronger. The hull is heavily armored with titanium-reinforced alu steel. The physical armor is further reinforced by a Chempat deflector shield generator that allowed the pilot to focus the shields where they were needed most. The technology in the ship surpassed many starfighters. The suite of sensors included an NH-7 flight control avionics package, an ANC 2.7 tracking computer, and an SI-5G7 quick scan vector imaging system. While these sensors, along with others, ensured precise navigation and targeting, an R2 series astromech droid was absolutely essential for managing all of these systems. When the Clone Wars gave way to the war between the Galactic Empire and the Rebel Alliance, the Alliance grabbed up as many Y-Wings as possible. With everything the Y-Wing had to offer, there were some drawbacks. The cooling system, for one. It needed constant maintenance. Alliance mechanics removed some of the physical armor plating to let heat vent more efficiently. They added a stronger shield generator to make up for the reduced armor. In time, the engine-supported pylons were shortened to make the fighters more nimble. They also removed the fuel efficiency system on ships used in combat and reduced the 6-round torpedo launchers to 4 rounds. These changes were likely due to lack of resources over any practical reasons. There were multiple versions of the Y-Wing produced. The BTL-B was commissioned by the Republic Navy to replace the V-19 Torrent starfighter. It had a pilot seat as well as one for a gunner. There was a bubble turret that could rotate 360 degrees. The BTL-A4 single-seat variation was used as a tactical strike fighter and was a favorite of the Rebel Alliance. It was used in many major battles such as Scarif, Yavin, Endor, and Jakku. The BTL-S3 was the successor to the BTL-B. It retained the 2 seats. Instead of the rotating turret, the gunner and pilot sat back-to-back in the same cockpit, making the gunner a tail gunner. Many in the galaxy considered the Y-Wing an antique by this time, but the ships were readily available and incredibly tough. After the Galactic Civil War, Y-Wing production went away for a time. The New Republic decided they needed a new version for their defense fleet, as well as in their fight against the First Order. The BTA-NR-2 saw the Y-Wing back into production. This variation was based on the A4 single-seater. It had more plating, sensors, and deflector shields. The controls were refined for maneuverability, and the engines were upgraded to more modern versions. The Y-Wing was a good choice for the Galactic Republic. They were used in many battles and excelled in bombing capital ships as well as ground targets. The traditional cannons and ion cannons were perfect for switching between capital ships and droid starfighters. The entire Separatist army came out of factories. This made the Y-Wing's ability to level multiple targets at once absolutely crucial. Their success in space or low orbit was far superior to being fully in atmosphere. Republic Command deemed them buggy during atmospheric operations. This was the most commonly used ship by the Rebel Alliance. It was great at taking down the more nimble but weaker in armor and weaponry TIE fighters. It was used as a bomber, escort, courier, and reconnaissance. When the New Republic brought the Y-Wing back, they were used until 28 ABY. Even when they were retired by the reigning government, the Amaxine warriors and resistance continued to use them. With a long and well-worn history, it's clear the Y-Wing starfighter was crucial in the fight for liberty for decades. Check out this transmission next for more ships from the Star Wars galaxy.